All right, everybody, welcome back into another episode here. We're glad that you're either listening in or watching us on another episode. I'm Casie Mason.
And I am Aaron Weeks.
And this is What's the Trend? What a great time to be alive here podcasting with my buddy.
Absolutely. It is episode 6. And that means it's our favorite number. We just discussed it with each other.
Our favorite number. It's a lucky number, you know?
It is our lucky number.
Always pick it for everything.
We have a special guest coming in the studio today. I'm very excited about, but you're going to have to wait until our entertainment segment of that. But you are going to want to stick around for that. Trust me on that.
That's right. It's in the entertainment realm, if you will. This person is going to provide a little inside look, a peek behind the curtain of show business, if you will. And we're so excited to have her. It's a familiar face that you will most likely recognize here at 14 News. You better. And we are honored to have her spend some time with us in the studio today. And that's going to be here coming up a little later in the show. So stick around with us today.
Absolutely.
And of course, you guys know the drill here at What's the Trend? What's the trend? What's the trend? Question mark. We always try to, fill you guys in on everything that's just happening out there in the world of pop culture, especially, we always kick off with what's happening here locally.
Absolutely.
So we'll kind of start with that.
Yeah. So what are you looking forward to? We talked a little bit about it, but I want to get more in depth with it.
Well, thank you for asking. It's always ladies first on this segment. I love it. What a gentleman. Happening this Saturday and Sunday, it's the Evansville RaptorCon. That's what I wanted to talk about today. Have you ever heard of this, Aaron?
I have heard of it. I know I've written about it, but I've never attended. But it's kind of in the same breath as GeekCon, sort of. I know it's very different, but I'm very curious because they have some guest stars coming in.
Yes, I'm so excited about this. When I was kind of looking up this event, I first of all love that they're bringing this to the tri-state. So they dubbed this the biggest pop culture party in Evansville. It's a celebration of all things talking pop culture here. This is right up our alley.
Absolutely.
Lots of nostalgia and fandom at this event. So you're going to have everything from comics to anime, retro gaming, cosplay. Of course, special guests coming to this, which I love this. We talked about this. Boy Meets World. Will Friedle is going to be there. Who else?
We have Henry Dangers, Cooper Barnes, big deal. And there's going to be a lot of things that's going to be happening. Yeah,
there's a big list online of everybody that's going to be at this. I mean, if you had a favorite TV show, especially that 90s era too, I think a lot of folks, our generation, would have a blast at this. I mean, I remember Will Friedle, the big brother on Boy Meets World. Finny. That's right, Finny. Oh, if you don't get that, then this is not for you. So anyways, a great time. There's going to be everything from board games, role play, and card games. The event's going to kick off Saturday at 11 a.m. It's going to last until Sunday.
That's awesome.
Happening over at the Old National Events Plaza, downtown Evansville, of course. If you want to head to this, tickets and the full schedule are going to be available at the raptorcon.com website. So it should be a good time. I'm sure folks get really into it. They probably dress up. And of course, there's much more than characters just from Boy Meets World. There's all kinds of shows. A girl from Twilight's going to be there. I don't want to spoil it too much.
I love that.
Lots of fun.
That's awesome.
Aaron, what are you looking forward to?
Well, mine's not really a looking forward to. We're going to do on my segment a little recap because I did actually go to a few of the events that happened over this past weekend.
Okay.
So I first went to Haney's Corner for First Fridays. That's actually a lot of fun. I highly recommend going. You can get your drinks, your Dora cups. I love a good Dora cup.
And walk around, have a good time.
Walk around, have a good time. Totally fine. There's plenty of food vendors and stuff like that. I love that. And then my friend Courtney Green, actually, she's a 44 anchor / reporter. She was like, "Do you want to go to the rodeo?" Now, bear with me here. I'm not exactly the target demographic for a rodeo. And I really didn't know much about rodeos. I know it's a little I've seen shows and stuff about it, but I didn't know.
I watched an episode of Yellowstone. It's fine.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, let's try it out. And then we get there and I'm just like, oh wait, people are dressed up from in hats and boots and let me just paint the picture for you guys. I was wearing a button-down knit shirt, jeans, and Converse.
And the Converse.
The white Converse. And I was walking around and we stuck out like sore thumbs. I was like, oh wow. This is not good.
You're like, I did not dress accordingly.
We got some looks, and I'm like, you know what? Let's just succumb to it. Let's do it, whatever. But it was actually a lot of fun.
What did you what was the weirdest, or I guess like not weird, but what was one of the weirder things you're like, I didn't know they did that at the rodeo? Or
They
what are the
do
cooler
like
things?
a whole like show spectacle for the audience. Kind of like there was this guy karate chopping a wood that was a piece of wood that was on fire.
Oh
It
my
was
gosh.
wild. And then, it just brought like the community. There were so many people there, community together, which is cool. I love
Yes.
that. But yeah, it was nuts.
It's funny that you got to go experience this because it is very out of our element. Again, we
Very
don't grow
much.
up in that world here. I love that they came
I
to
sure
us with the
didn't.
rodeo because
Yeah.
it's definitely, again, just it's a wild west, if you will.
It surely is.
Well, I'm glad you had a good time.
I did.
And it was a good
It was
experience.
still a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I love like having experiences where it's just like, I may never go again. We'll never know, but or we will.
To be determined.
To be determined. But it's nice to kind of get out and branch out and get into the community and see what it has to offer. And it turns out it has a lot to offer.
Yeah. And so do you. So I'm glad you shared that with the Tri-State. Thank you so much.
So much.
Next year, guys,
Sign
up. It'll be back.
Absolutely. A lot of trending things in the Tri-State. And speaking of trending, we have a lot trending on our homepage at 14news.com. See what I did there?
I did.
So if you go to our homepage, 14news.com, you'll get the latest in news, sports, weather, everything that's going on right now. You can just go to 14news.com, click on any of our tabs, and you will get as much information as you want.
There you go. And of course, we start with local events, so you can kind of keep it here in the Tri-State. And then next up in this, pop culture world that we're covering here, we got to talk about movies next.
Yes, absolutely. We got a big piece of movie news, actually, a movie adjacent news. So there was a piece of cinema history that was sold at an auction at a record high price. It is Darth Vader's lightsaber that was used in The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. And that sold at an auction for $3.6 million.
Wow. That's incredible.
Which we all have that laying around.
Yeah,
Come
right.
on.
Just some chump change.
Absolutely.
Won the Powerball this past weekend. I'm good. Just add it to my collection.
Oh, if we won, sorry, but the show would probably be canceled.
No offense, but
or we would just come in. We would come in for the show.
We would have our own studio.
Yes.
But hey, we're glad to be here.
Happy
this
to be
well-provided studio
we
with
love
good
it.
lighting. We like this good
Thank
lighting.
you so much.
Thank you.
Never cancel us. But the prop store auction officials say this was the highest record, or the new record for the highest auction price for a Star Wars item sold.
Okay, that's a
big deal.
That is a very big deal.
Because there's a lot
yes.
of Star Wars memorabilia that you can. I don't know if it's for sale anymore, but that's a lot.
Like the lightsaber, though, that is the thing. Like if there
that
was
is
one
the
prop
biggest
you're going to
thing.
want, it would be that.
Mm-hmm.
So
especially Darth Vader's.
Oh, yeah.
Super
the bad
cool.
guy.
Come on. I love it.
That is a cool fun fact.
It is, yeah. And other pieces of memorabilia sold where some of my, like from one of my favorite movies, actually, it was the bullwhip belt and holster from Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Another Harrison Ford movie.
Another Harrison Ford. You know what?
He had a great acting career. And
He
still,
did.
And is still getting
Still
after
going.
it. So he's
Love
going.
it.
We love Harrison Ford.
Of course.
Yeah, Indiana Jones. Fun fact. I love all those movies. I don't know if a lot of
do you
folks
have a favorite
have seen
of
all of them.
those?
Ooh, that's a good question. I like the one where I think it's is it the Raiders of the Lost Ark? I think isn't that the very
That's
first?
the very
I think
first
it's always
one.
the first one for me in any sort of series because that's just like it kind of there's just like how it all began.
Yeah.
Like even Twilight. I like the first Twilight.
I love the first Twilight too. My hot take is my favorite is Temple of Doom.
I was gonna ask you what yours was.
Mine is
Temple of Doom, which honestly most days, my office can be a Temple of Doom depending on the day. So just kidding, it's a Temple.
The title
of
my
Happiness.
memoir.
The Temple of Doom. No, Indiana Jones. You know what? Our generation needs to get with it. If you have not indulged in those movies, Harrison Ford, it is awesome. Those are so good. They have the thing at Disney where they reenact that still, and
we went a couple years ago where they had the whole show, and I'm like, this is nuts.
And it's kind of too, they show you a little bit like behind the scenes of like how Hollywood does it, which again, we're going to get a glimpse of when our special guest joins us here in a little bit.
Wait.
So speaking of movies in Hollywood, let's talk a little bit here about the Superman sequel.
Yes.
I love saying that, Superman sequel.
Yes.
As I was going to put here, I made a very corny joke. It's a bird. It's a plane. No, it's a Superman sequel. I had to get it in. I'm sorry. Bad joke.
I love it.
So director James Gunn actually announced on social media that, this sequel is in the works. So the plot's really not known at this time, like what exactly they're going to kind of center this movie around, but we do know that it's set to release in July of 2027, so we still have a bit here to wait for it. They're going to build us up with suspense. And speaking of, the next DCU movie is going to be Supergirl, and it does release in July of 2026. So what are your thoughts?
I'm excited for that one too. Supergirl, spoiler. It's been out for a minute, so come on. Spoiler alert, she comes in at the very end and she is a hot mess and I cannot wait.
Who plays her?
It's the girl from House of Dragons.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
I know it's on the tip of my tongue.
She's blonde,
yes,
obviously.
she plays the
younger
queen princess
something.
at the very, listen.
You know, this sucks. I follow her on Instagram and I don't even know her name.
We always have this. It's when you need to think of something, it's on the tip of your tongue.
Memory blanking.
It's Amelia or Emily or that's Amelia Clark.
That's
who
Amelia
played.
Clark, but
we'll get there, guys.
We will get there.
Don't worry. We'll do our research for next episode. We're sorry to let you down, Tri-State, but you know who we're talking about.
Absolutely,
the
yes,
young blonde girl from the House of the Dragon. So she's funny. I like her. She's been in a couple things lately.
It was a really cute, cool cameo.
So she comes in as a cameo at the end of the new Superman that came out that you saw.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I'm
what are your
excited.
thoughts? Do you think the sequel is going to be just as great? It's the same characters. They're bringing them back.
I like to think so because they've already set the stage with this universe already exists, which is great because you don't have to do like a whole rollout of each movie comes out at once and introducing new characters. There's a whole array of characters that were introduced in the first one.
Good. They knocked it all out with one movie.
They knocked it all out, which I love. I'm like, we start already with a story established. It's not an origin story. We just get right into it. And I like that. We've done so many origin stories. I'm just like, come on.
I know. We get it. You had to be from somewhere. You're doing big things now. We're tired. Get on with the good stuff.
Get on with the goods. Love it.
Let's talk about The Conjuring. Yes. I really don't want to talk about it, but you saw it.
I did see it.
I see it.
Yeah,
so brave.
Absolutely. Yeah,
so brave.
It was good. It was good. I liked it. Oddly enough, I've only seen the first one.
Okay.
And the last one. But it's actually, you can tell that it's a really good like bookend to whatever the stories that they had told previously. And you see like, I don't want to give anything away.
I know. Spoiler alerts here.
Spoiler
we won't do
alert,
it on our show.
But there are characters from the previous movies that show up in a scene, which I think is really cool.
I love when they do that.
Yeah, I think so. It's a good way to like just pay tribute to what came before.
Pay tribute. Yes.
But this was the fourth and final film.
Wow,
and it opened at a record high for the franchise. It came in at $83 million.
My goodness.
Huge opening weekend. And this has been like an ongoing franchise since 2013.
Okay. It's been that many years.
I know.
They've been scaring us since 13. Okay.
It's crazy that it's been that long. But, you know, it's been like had spin-offs like the Annabelle series and the Nun movies.
Oh, my goodness.
And
again, none that I've seen. Literally, I've none seen the Nun.
None seen. But I feel like this is just kind of proof that horror movies are just back and better than ever.
Oh, they're back and ready, folks.
It's my
Speaking
favorite
of a
genre.
Good villain. So when it comes to horror movies, like I can handle like your slasher movies, like with Michael and Jason, and I like your Halloween themed movies. With me, it's like the paranormal stuff that's kind of the line of The Conjuring. I saw Paranormal Activity in college when it came out, and it took me years to get over that.
Gosh.
I was like, oh my goodness. To
be fair, it's very realistic.
Very, very realistic. I was like, why are the actors not listed at the end of the movie? They really got me on that one. I was like, I think this is real. Yeah. My mom was like, I promise you it's not.
You know what? I love the Blair Witch Project because that feels like a super real.
What a time.
And talk about marketing. A little movie history for you. They marketed it as a true story.
And we all believed it because it's not before social media and stuff too. So we just
it was like the dawn of the internet, I feel like. And people were like, oh my gosh, this really happened.
The parody spin-off too. Everybody was in the woods. Like
Scary Movie.
Yes, that's literally, which we talked about on one of our last episodes.
I love it.
Yeah, The Conjuring is one, probably not for me. Props to you for sitting through it because I think I'd be a little bit scared. But yeah, I like the physical villain or thriller. There's a chance I can get through.
There's a chance
it's
you can
when
get away.
They're ghosts and stuff and possessed, and I'm like, well, I don't know what to do about this.
Yeah, no.
What do we do? So, and that's where you have to watch the movie to find out what happened. So maybe
I highly recommend it.
I'm still afraid to watch Weapons that you talked about in last week's show. It
that
looks
one is so much
good.
fun though.
I think that one I'll be able to
There
handle.
is a scene where I was like,
you said, oh.
I was like, that is like literally I reacted like this.
Oh no. Which he's putting his hands up.
Putting my hands in the air and like the shocked face. It's insane.
Like a goalpost. Yeah, I'm a jumpy person. When I watch a movie, if I'm holding like a drink or a bag of popcorn, I'm one of those people. I will jump, and but it's kind of fun to get scared. That's when you know the movie's doing its job. So
I also have to shut my ears sometimes.
I do a little peek hole with my hands where I'm like, okay, if I hold my hands up like this and I just split my one little finger, it just makes me feel a little bit safer.
Yeah,
So
no.
we all have our tactics, you know. You're welcome to use and share ours.
Absolutely.
So you may not be able to see the movie or hear it, but I'm sure it'll be really good.
Yeah.
So, yeah, of course, we, you know, are in the fall spirit with Halloween coming up. We really do want to do like a full Halloween episode.
Yes.
We'll be talking more about scary movies.
We may be in costume. We'll see.
We'll see what happens. So no promises. But
And moving on, we actually have
sure.
a lot of music news too.
Yes, let's get to this.
Yeah.
Okay, so this was a big one that we had to talk about. We're going to recap the VMAs.
It was the VMAs, which is a huge deal for me, at least. I love watching the VMAs and seeing recaps of all the performances, and there was a lot of memorable moments.
Love live award shows. I can't get enough.
I mean,
of them.
you've been to plenty of them.
Come on, that's my beat, you guys. More so in the country music realm, but this one, I mean, this is just VMAs. You got a little bit of everybody, all of the genres.
All the genres, which I love.
I'm going to break it down here for us. This was this past Sunday, and there were definitely, you know, as you said, some moments that really they stood out among others. So we're going to start here. Let's talk a little bit. We had Doja Cat. She actually was applying her lipstick, and then she like straight up ate it on the red carpet.
Took a bite out of it.
Yep, just said, "Arr."
Why not?
You know what? Because really, you want your teeth and your lips to match. So, what were your thoughts on that? Hilarious.
I was just like, maybe it's a fake kind of thing. Could be. We don't know yet. Could be, but. It got our attention, I'll tell you that.
It sure did.
Got our attention.
Maybe she was just hangry, you know?
I
didn't have a Snickers nearby, so
I'll take it.
Been there, done that. So that was kind of a funny moment that we thought we'd recap today. If you saw it, great. If not, go check it out.
Yeah.
And then Lady Gaga, she had to leave after winning her award to go, you know, just perform over at Madison Square Garden, which I love that.
That's great.
What a flex. You're like, I'm going to go ahead and take my award.
Thank you so much.
Yes,
No, I'm going to go perform for a sold-out crowd.
Over at an iconic
just
venue.
Just across the street.
See you guys over there after party. Then Busta Rhymes, which let me some Busta Rhymes, was honored with the first Rock the Bells Visionary Award. Cool moment there. Did you get to see that part of the show?
I did a little bit. It was really cool. I just love like artists getting their come ups, I guess.
Yes.
For lack of a better word.
No.
I just love having recognition for people who deserve it, and I think he deserves it a lot.
Yes, I agree with you entirely. And speaking of someone who deserves some recognition right now,
yes,
you want to take it away here? Let's talk
course.
about our girl.
Sabrina Carpenter got a big moment. She
So
danced in the rain on stage during her performance of Tears off her latest album, Man's Best Friend, which it was kind of paying tribute to Britney Spears when she did it at the VMAs.
That's right. I like how it was at the very end. It was a lot of build up, and you know, I think Sabrina is an incredible live performer. I think
so too. And
she's wild. But she's fun to watch.
I'm not calling out any artist. She actually sings when she performs live too, which is nice.
I love it. She is just a little tiny person, just this powerful just punch comes out of this tiny little person. She is definitely like it's a little bit of a hot topic her right now, but either way she's entertaining, and that is really what it's all about. So
absolutely,
we love us some Sabrina. Of course, her new album, like you mentioned, is out now. And another thing we wanted to talk about was they of course had to pay tribute to the late great Ozzy Osbourne by performing his hits, which I thought they did a great job of that. Definitely a pinnacle part of the show there. And also want to talk a little bit back to Lady Gaga. She took home the Artist of the Year at the VMAs. She did release her latest album, Mayhem, back in March of this year, and just announced new tour dates for the Mayhem Ball Tour. So that's going to be pretty cool. So you want to talk about some of the songs? Yeah,
some of my favorite songs, which are her hits. It's like Disease, Abracadabra. My personal favorite is... oh my, Killa,
yes.
People hate it. I love it. Just come for me. I love it.
Their own, sir. Yeah. I mean, she, you know, again, just another one that's just years in the industry, still getting after it, always reinventing herself.
Yes.
I feel like
I love that.
And the fact that you can go from
like yes, like you can go from the fame monster, and then Joanne, which is a completely like almost fully acoustic. Or it's just a whole folk vibe kind of thing. It's very different, and I like that. Some people are very divided on it, but I loved it.
And that's, again, what keeps her relevant, what keeps her around, always on our toes.
And I like that she does what she wants. She doesn't cater to specific types of people. It's for everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
She's definitely one of those artists that figured out how to evolve in the industry with her fans, or maybe lost a few along the way, and maybe, you know, brought on new fans, because again, she's kind of got a different chapter and a different trend going with over the years. So she's definitely kept us on our toes, like I said a minute ago, over the years.
We love it.
And of course, in more VMA news, back to Sabrina Carpenter. She actually won big on Sunday night. In fact, she won Album of the Year and Pop Artist of the Year. It doesn't really get bigger than that at the VMAs. Those are like the two biggest awards. Sabrina won for her album Short and Sweet, which debuted back in 2024.
Short, sweet.
Look at us go. Hey. And off the album, that had the songs like you may remember Espresso, Please, 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 and Taste.
Love.
And so, yeah, pretty cool there. What would you want to add about that?
Just one of my great albums. One of my favorite albums of even this year and last year.
I agree. I think, again, I'm looking forward to her collab with Taylor on her new album. That'll be pretty cool. And I love it, too, because Taylor's...
Don't say too much.
Don't say too much, your
my brother will come
I've already had a few
again.
friends like, all right, we get the Taylor talk minute, but let's get one show. Dang it, I almost went a whole show.
I promised my brother we would not.
Yeah, I'll take the blame. We're so sorry, Aaron's brother.
We love you, Chan.
We just appreciate that your brother tunes in.
Yeah.
What a good family member right there.
Truly.
So I force my family and friends to listen to. So
he's like, yeah, I'll watch in the car. He said, it's not as bad as what I thought it was going to be.
Thank you so much. And that's really
I hope he's listening to this in the car as it's being played.
He better be.
I hope so. Love you, Chan.
He's like
one of my biggest supporters.
I know, right? I talked about my sister Shawn all the time on here too. We do love our siblings.
We do.
Shout out to family.
They're great.
So you keep us in business and keep us humble. Okay, so let's move on to my girl.
Oh, tell me about it.
Another one who's just, been around for a minute in this industry.
Yes,
Additionally, we're talking here. Did our background just decided to cut out and said, hey, listen, that's okay. You guys listening, you didn't see that. It's all good. We're back in action now. So let's talk about Mariah Carey here. Mm-hmm. She was honored with the coveted Video Vanguard Award, another massive honor that they gave out that night, as well as her first ever VMA win for an R&B collection. She's incredible. I love her voice. I love her. I think it's the 90s girl in me. Anytime Mariah comes on in a department store, at a grocery store,
I am 100% a lamb.
I'm hitting the high notes that I can't actually hit in my head. She is.
I'll lip sync it, but I cannot sing along with it because it's too much.
I
think I am somebody. I am nobody when it comes to singing her songs.
I am right there with you. I definitely need to get another piece of humble pie there whenever I'm singing along to Mariah. So I joke, my mom, this is haterade Jackie here, but my mom was like, yeah, no, she does not like her voice. And I'm like, how can you say that? Her voice is amazing. She's like, it's just very high pitched and it's loud. And I was like, and now listen, this is a woman who grew up listening to like hair bands from the 70s and 80s. So I was listen, Jackie, but she knows that her daughter loves Mariah. In fact, my sister and I, we had shirts made one time. We went to Magic Kingdom and we had the castle and it said Sweet, Sweet Fantasy. Nobody got it. And I was very disappointed. So all my Mariah fans out there,
that
rally.
might be my favorite of her songs, Fantasy.
It's amazing. So karaoke night, Aaron.
Oh my gosh.
Let's get it set.
We've got to do it, and we're going to show footage of it if we do it.
We need to make that happen.
To a certain extent.
We will make it happen, Tri-State.
Depending on how many drinks I'm in.
It'll be our Christmas gift to you, okay?
Absolutely.
'Tis the season. So, so really moving on here, let's see. I think we were going to next talk about some celeb news here. We were going to get on to this one. We touched base last week.
We did. We covered it a little bit, but here's kind of a follow-up to what we were talking about last week. It was about Cardi B. So we brought you last week's story about how Cardi B was involved in a civil suit with a security guard.
The entertainment.
I mean, come on. It's never a dull moment with her. But we have good news. She's actually been cleared of all charges. Woo-hoo. And we told you last week that a security guard alleged that Cardi assaulted her outside of an obstetrician's office. Totally cleared of that. Now, Cardi has been cleared and said she plans to countersue if someone tries to frivolously I can't say it
Words
frivolously do a lawsuit against her. And she says there's this misinterpretation of celebrities that they kind of won't fight back.
Yes.
And she says she's not going to just give away her money that she's earned and worked hard for, which, hey, I can respect that.
She said, I'm not going to take this laying down. She said, this is a bully situation where she basically feels like she was targeted because she's a celebrity.
And wanted to be taken advantage of, you know?
She made a statement, which in her own Cardi B way, which was, you know, again, hilarious. But I felt for her because I was like, you know what? You're right. She said, hey, I work hard for my money. Anyone that's going to try to come after my money, my family, my reputation, she said, I'm going to fight back. Not on my watch. So I tell you what, props to you, Cardi. Congrats on being cleared.
Girl.
And shame on you, security guard.
I swear.
I didn't like it because she was pregnant at the time, and that's such a...
Why are you going to target a pregnant woman?
Exactly. It wasn't an invasion of privacy, too. I feel like celebrities, you know, I think they choose the life of fame.
As if pregnant women don't go through enough as it is.
Say it louder, Aaron. Say it louder. My back remembers and my feet remember that time very well.
God bless you, man.
So, yeah, we love Cardi B. I thought that the footage from the courtroom, it was
hilarious.
So funny. I mean, definitely not a laughing matter, but for those of us who...
she knew, I mean, she was so unserious about it. She's like, this is stupid.
There was at one point she fell asleep in the courtroom, which I thought, you go, girl. Kind of funny. Sent a message for sure. So,
yeah.
We're going to move on to some more celebrity news. This is on a more somber note, and the fashion industry heartbroken over this because one of the biggest names in the fashion industry has passed away. Now, he lived a long, good life.
Yeah.
But we're talking about Giorgio Armani here. The Armani Group actually made a statement. They said that Giorgio Armani died peacefully surrounded by loved ones. In June of this year, for the first time in his career, he was actually noted for not being in attendance at his very own runway event that happened in Milan. He's always been at that. So they kind of noticed he wasn't there back in June. And they estimate that his value in his business was anywhere between roughly $9 to $12 billion, not million, $1 billion, which I can see that. He was 91 years old. So yeah, that was a loss.
I can totally see him being worth that much.
Yeah.
And Armani is such a respected brand, especially when it comes to like celebrity culture.
Yes.
He's dressed everybody from like Zendaya to like Gwyneth Paltrow to, I mean,
icons.
Oscar dresses. You know what I mean? It's just perfect.
Armani is one of those things that
I would love an Armani suit.
I was gonna say I've never seen an Armani store. I've never held an Armani. It's kind of one of those I'm not able to reach it in my realm. Like we get Gucci.
Of course.
I've seen some Prada in the area. You know, of course, Dooney and Burke was big and hot back in
the my gosh.
We've got Michael Kors.
What was the
Kate
one bags?
Spade, but never Armani.
What are the one bags? I'm trying to remember. They were kind of like patterned.
Yes.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I remember because we all had one. They had the little D&Bs.
Yes.
And it was all over the back.
Was it Dooney and Burke?
It was Dooney and Burke.
Good night.
And you had the matching wallet, all of the things. So
yeah.
Anyways, well, I'm looking over your shoulder because
did we see our special guest?
I think our special guest has arrived.
Oh, I'm so excited.
So go ahead and kind of let folks know what's coming up here.
Yeah, so we have a guest coming in that you're about to see in just a minute, and she is going to give us a little peek inside of Hollywood. She's been in the game before, and she's actually a tri-state native and a 14 News employee.
And a 14 News legacy queen. We love her so much.
14 News legend, too.
Legend, I like it.
Icon, superstar.
We are honored to have her here. In case you can't tell, we absolutely love this person. And I truly cannot wait to hear what she has to say. So stand by, guys. Here it comes.
All right, guys, we have our first guest in studio with us. It's our very own Jamee French.
I am honored.
I'm so happy. Now, here's a few things that we didn't know about her. She has actually been in Hollywood before, and her credits include ABC's Revenge. She's been on some Disney Channel shows. She's been everywhere, guys, and I just love getting to know this. And we were like, what perfect opportunity to have you in here with us. Thank you, first of all.
Yeah, thank you guys for asking me. It's something that I sort of keep secret. So I'm excited to talk about it because it's from when I was quite young. So it's an interesting little part of my life.
I love it.
I had no idea until Aaron told me. And then since the doors open, everyone in here is, oh yeah, Jamie, everybody seems to know but me.
Yeah.
And I'm starstruck. I have no idea. So we'll kind of tell you more about what we're talking about when we get into this interview here. But first of all, Jamie, you came in early for us to do this today. So again, thank you.
Thank
Jamie
you so much.
Everybody should know who you are, but would you care to just introduce yourself here at 14? We know you as our main anchor, Jamee French, but tell us a little bit about your role here at 14.
Yeah, absolutely. So of course I started here almost 4 or 5 years ago at this point. I was an intern here in college, and then I started as our morning anchor till I passed the torch to sweet Casie here. And now I'm our evening anchor. I do the 4, 5, and 6 shows. So yeah,
And some.
and then some. Yes, we've been reporting a little bit the past couple of days. So I do a little bit of everything here.
Busy woman.
So let's get into it, Jamie. You are beloved by the tri-state and our viewers. So again, it was an honor to have you on our show. And it's really cool to get to know our on-air talent behind the scenes. I know Jeff has done that with his podcast Inside Look. And so not only
Check that out.
do we get to know you a little bit better. Yeah, that's right. Humble plug.
Shameless plug.
Shameless. Always. We love you, Jeff. We got to be on his show. We were like, an honor. So yeah, I think it's cool to get to know folks, kind of their hobbies, their interests. We know you're recently engaged. You've been in the news industry for several years now. But we also, with our podcast, it is about entertainment. So we talk movies, music, sports, and pop culture. And this is really tying the two worlds together because literally right in our presence, we have someone
who's experienced it.
I cannot believe you can say that. I mean, that's like 1 in a million that someone has actually entered the business. What a business it is of entertainment. So take us back and tell us how the bug bit you, I guess, at first.
Okay, yeah. So I have an older brother and an older sister. They sort of got started in it first. So it was before my time, I feel like, that my family somehow got roped into the world of acting and modeling. So, of course, I am from Union County. I'm from the tri-state, and I always have been. And I used to travel on the weekends, every weekend, to Chicago, Nashville, Knoxville, Lexington. I had a talent agency in just about every nearby big city. And I would travel there on the weekends with my brother and sister as they were doing different print things with Kohl's and with Old Navy and things like that. And my brother did a lot of like Abercrombie modeling back in the day.
Okay.
Beautiful family.
And so I would just go with them. I don't even know how they got roped into it, so that part is just beyond me. But I would go with them, and then one day these agencies were like, do you want to be involved? Because I was a very over-the-top child. I was so bubbly, and my personality was so loud that my parents were like, sweetie, please be quiet. So I think that they were like, hey, you could probably do this. And I was like, yeah, I totally can. Like, I want to be the next Miley Cyrus. What do you mean? Because at the time, like, Hannah Montana was like the biggest thing in the world. So I was like, I want to do that. So 6-year-old me was like, yeah. And then it sort of took off from there. Every weekend, my mom and dad drove me to different auditions and shoots in Chicago and Nashville and Knoxville. It was a lot.
What is the audition process like? Because, some people don't know. You can only see like La La Land, but you don't really know unless you're in it. So what is that like?
Yeah, they do. If it's for like commercial TV or for a TV show series type of thing, they will send you a script ahead of time, and you sort of have to go in and memorize completely off book and give them like your best audition. They'll usually give you 3 takes, and then you're out the door. And then you give them a comp card, basically, which is like your modeling headshot, and on the backside is like your measurements and like hair color, eye color, where to contact me, and then you just hope and pray that you get a call back. And if you do, you do it all over again, and they narrow that pool down, and then you just pray you get the part. So it's nerve-wracking, and it's kind of heartbreaking because there's a lot of no's involved, but it's interesting.
How did your parents handle that? I mean, as a parent, you want to see your child have confidence, but then enough to go out and be vulnerable and try out and audition. But there's always going to be a little bit of you don't land every role you try out for. We definitely know that in our industry too. How did your parents deal with the letdown and also all the triumphs that you guys landed roles?
Yeah. I mean, this was never something that I came out and said, hey, I want to do this. My parents were like, you're going to do this because you can do this. And I was like, all right. So they really pushed me into it. So, I mean, I grew up on a farm where we're taught to be rough and tough. So my dad's like, if you don't land this role, suck it up. Let's move on to the next one. Brush it off. It's going to be all right. There's another audition waiting for you tomorrow. Right. So they were very encouraging. But when I would land a role and when my parents saw me on set, I've never seen them more proud. So that was always fun to see. They were very supportive during the triumphs, and then all the no's, they were like, it's okay, do it again.
Dude, I
try
love
it again.
That mentality. I think I think that builds you into a strong adult.
It made the no's easier. Because I was like, there's another audition to go to tomorrow. It's fine, on to the next.
I do have a question. What was your big break? Like the one job where you're like, wow, I've made it.
I would say, so of course I lived in LA I moved there in 2011 and was there maybe till 2015, 16. So that was the era where apps were becoming a bigger thing, and Disney Channel released their app. So just how you can watch 14 News on the 14 News app, that was a first for Disney Channel. You could watch their shows on their app. And so I did a lot of advertisement with the Watch Disney Channel app. And that was really the thing that I would come back home to Union County on the weekends for like visits or holidays, and people were like, I saw you on the Disney Channel app commercial. And I'm like, oh, that was the one that I feel like sort of, and of course there was different variations of that commercial, and it ran for years. So that was sort of the one that I feel like people back home, it probably is. I feel like that was the one people at home really saw the most. And then there for a while, I was signed with Hasbro and Mattel doing a lot of toys. Of course, I was 12 years old, and I did a lot of Barbie dolls and Fidget Friends and Furl Friends and all of those little toys that like my niece plays with now. I did a lot of those commercials, and those were the ones people at home saw around the holidays when they were advertising for toys. So I think it was those two things that I was like, wow, I'm like 12 years old and people see me on TV. This is weird.
I'm thinking of scheduling. Did you get pulled out of school or?
Yeah. So of course I moved there when I was about 10 or so. I moved to LA when I was 10. So I went to a private Catholic school in Morganfield, and of course I got pulled out of there. I was homeschooled for about 5 or 6 years. I attended a charter school that was only child actors. My apartment complex that I lived in was built solely for child actors. So everyone was doing the exact same thing. So we would have study groups in the lobby area of our apartment complex because we were all homeschooled within the same organization. And then my 8th grade year of middle school, I was able to do the Morganfield school would actually send me my work through email and mail and things like that. And I would send it back. So that way, when I was ready to start freshman year, I would be right on track with everyone, because I did move home when I turned 15 or 16. So.
And tell us about that. Was that something that was, bittersweet, or were you kind of like, because the industry, and we want to get into the good with it, but also a little bit of the kind of the side that we can peek behind the curtain and not know about. What's some things you want people to know about the industry that maybe isn't so, I'm over here thinking this is so exciting and cool, but it is a lot of work. It is a job, and at such a young age. So kind of tell us about the decision to move back and what you kind of learned from the industry.
Yeah. Of course, it was like super nerve-wracking to even move there in the first place. But I was traveling every weekend to the nearby cities, and finally a talent agency out of Chicago was like, if you want to do this for real, you've got to make the move. So my family, of course, was like, let's do it. And we packed up everything. I moved to LA, didn't know anyone or anything, and didn't even know where we were. And we rolled into this apartment complex in the middle of the night, and I was like, I'm like 8 years old and this is now my life. Like, I just left my farm to come do this. So it was sad. I mean, I remember the tears from all of my elementary school friends when they were like, you're leaving? So the first year of living in LA, I was nothing but homesick. We did not know, where was the best place to go get acting training. I was looking for coaches and things like that. I was still waiting to get picked up by a talent agency and talent manager. So I wasn't getting a ton of auditions. So it was like, I'm wasting my time out here because I haven't been able to have a breakthrough of anything of any sort yet. There's a lot of pressure. Yeah, absolutely.
She's farm tough, though.
Farm tough, guys.
She was raised right.
Yes. And then after that, it's sort of, once I got over that hump, it really took off, and I was able to sort of, as soon as one door opened, they all did. So once I got my foot into that first commercial or first print job, I believe it was a Joanne Fabrics ad. That was the one where I was like, from there, people started to like hear my name, and then it was like absolutely. And then it was like every week or every weekend, I had another job to do, and then so I was constantly busy, and that was fun because I was always on set and I was always doing something, and it made me feel like, oh, what I'm doing here is like important. I'm meant to be here. And it got really busy from there. If it wasn't busy, then we would pick up a lot of like extra background work whenever we could, just to make a couple $100 type of thing. Because if you think about it, my mom moved there with me, so she wasn't really able to work because she was raising me, and she was momager. Yeah. So it was like I was picking up different extra background roles here and there, which led to some really cool opportunities like Revenge, Dexter, Parks and Rec. Like I was able to be a background actress on all of those types of shows that are now huge, to make a couple $100.
I know. See, Parks and Rec is one of my faves. So
I was like, I don't even know. I don't watch Parks and Rec. I'm sorry, but it was like I was like a Girl Scout or like a camper,
like a Leslie Knope, her and Ann Perkins.
Yes, yeah. I was one of those. I had on like a camping outfit. I remember it plain as day. But like being on set and doing those things were super fun because you were with other kids that were trying to make it too, and you were all like in breaks doing homework together from your homeschool, and then it was time to be on set. We all went together and it was fun. But then the moments you were told no, or the dry periods where you didn't have an audition coming up, or you didn't get the call back you really wanted, it was defeating. And then I was like, in those moments, I really missed home. I was like, I feel like I'm not making it here. I should just go back home and see my friends, So it was a lot of back and forth.
I mean, in the grand scheme of things, you did make it. You were a paid actress in Hollywood in some of the biggest shows, sitcoms, brands, and just household names. I mean, it's incredible what you've done. And I truly think everything happens for a reason. And I think we've all left home and we've all actually ended up back. Yeah. And it's amazing because you live and you learn. And one thing I'm with personally, anything that never panned out for me, that didn't happen, I think the Lord, it didn't, because it led me to where I'm supposed to be now. Right. And I've landed some other cool things, and it's like, hey, you learn from those experiences, and it kind of makes you realize what you really want out of life and where you want to really ground your roots. And I mean, it's great that you got to go experience all this though, and bring it back to home too. I think one question I want to ask you is, you use this in a way every day, because not that we're up there acting when we're reading the news, we are journalists here. There's ethics and integrity behind what we're presenting to the tri-state, but it is in a way a performance. So how have you brought your background as an actress, model to the set out here every day in news?
Yeah. So when I moved to LA, every audition I went to, they were like, sweetie, you sound like a hillbilly. Like, we've got to fix this accent. I know my Union County accent was coming out at different commercials and acting jobs and things like that. And they were like, we've got to fix this. So I took 3 years of dialect classes to be able to turn my accent on and off. And in a way that sort of helped me find my journalism voice.
You have a great voice.
Yeah. Thank you. Well, you should hear me at home talking to my family. It doesn't sound like this at all. It's very, oh my goodness. So I was able to learn. I don't know about it.
And you got a little Tennessee that comes out every
sometimes it comes out, and I'm like, what was that?
I'm a Westerner here.
Well, I was able to learn how to turn it off basically from acting, and I always think about those things when I go on air, and even just different facial expressions. Like I literally took a class to learn how to change your facial expression as the emotion on set changes, and in a way that helps me in a newscast where we're bouncing from a very tragic story. We cover a lot of negative things, and then we have such positive stories right after that in a show. So being able to sort of change my delivery and facial expression and tone, those are all things that I learned in classes in LA. So I learned those things at 9 years old, and I've been able to keep them with me until my journalism career.
It's really cool that you can take something from that age and apply it into your adult life.
Right, absolutely.
That. Speaking of that age, we'll wrap this up here too, because we do appreciate your time. We don't want to wear you out, because we could talk.
We could talk all day.
This conversation could go all day.
We love it.
I'm fascinated by this, and that's why we wanted to have you on, because I think the folks that are tuning into What's the Trend, we love Hollywood, we love movies, we love the industry. When you moved back, how was that? I think that especially girls, there's jealousy. There's, how did, and maybe maybe everybody was just welcoming you back with open arms. But okay, tell us about that return to home.
Okay, yeah, and of course, I think about it all the time. I'm like, if I would have hung on and lived in LA for a few more years, I do think that I could have taken my career as an actress even further. But I was so ready to, this sounds cliche, be a normal teenager. I was about to start high school. I wanted to get my driver's license. I wanted to graduate with the kids that I grew up with. And I hadn't had that. I lived in LA for so many years that I really missed that life. So I decided to just chalk it up and say, I'm completely done. And I went home. And it wasn't, I had, of course, my close friends were very welcoming, but, and a lot of my supporters and families and friends were as well. But it was still very much like, oh, that's the girl that was on TV. She thinks she's better than us. Those whispers that I'm hearing at the county fair.
I'm moms than the kids.
No, absolutely. And then I feel like people judge my family in a way for packing me up and taking me out there, and because my dad stayed at home, my mom stayed there, we went back and forth all the time. I feel like there was a lot of judgment around that, and people just thinking that I was above them in some sort of way because of what I had done, which was totally not the case. So not all of it was super welcoming, but of course I am from such a small town that is very supportive. So overall it was, but there was those few that was like, what is she doing? Why did it was interesting, and it was a kind of a tough pill to swallow. That's why I kept it sort of a secret. Like all throughout high school, I didn't really want people to know that I went to LA and did all these things. And as time went on, people forgot that I did that. And so I was like, keep it that way. I remember one time sitting in class my sophomore year of high school, and someone brought it up, and it like brought me to tears because I was like almost embarrassed by it, because I was like, I don't want people to think that I'm like better than them in any sort of way for what I've done. So I kept it a secret. And then when I started working in TV again as a journalist, I was proud of it, because I've seen how proud and supportive the Tri-State is from what I do now. They think it's cool what I've done. And so now I'm like, yeah, you're right. It is cool, you know? So I sort of have a new outlook on it, because it's different, you know? There's always going to be the jealousy and things like that. But then I overlook all of that because I have so many supporters. You know,
you're not only farm tough after this, you're industry tough now too.
Right.
A double threat with that, surviving Hollywood and then achieving your success in town, and then getting to come back and also you kind of got the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
You got to go see what it was all about, know that you could do it, and honestly could probably go right back into it.
I think about it all the time.
Honestly, I was about to say, I was going to ask you, would you ever consider it later on?
Life has changed so much.
That Girl Scout uniform, it could still fit.
It's in my closet. It's in my closet. All the toys that I got.
Do you have anything like from Hollywood that you're most proud of?
All of the toys that I got to keep every outfit I ever wore on a set, and so I've got all of the like toy commercials that I've done. You know, they've given me the toys, so I've got them all in my closet, ready to pass down to my own kids one day.
That's
Mommy
awesome.
was on TV, and this is the doll she used. I mean, like it's just like yeah. So I've got a lot of mementos, a lot of good memories, but I definitely don't think it was something I would go back and do. Now that I've sort of found my footing on this side of the TV and more journalism rather than acting, I'm like, oh, this is where I was supposed to be. I knew it was. Right. I knew that what I was doing in LA as a child was going to lead me to where I was supposed to be in my adult career, and it has. So
well said.
I love that. I'm where I'm supposed to be on this part of the TV.
I like to think so.
Speaking of family, hope maybe plans to have a family someday. We hope little Clayton and Jamie's around.
We hope
someday.
so.
What advice, if your children were interested in embarking on the entertainment industry, would you want to give them? How would you feel about that?
I think I would allow my kids to, follow whatever dreams that they'd want to, because that is exactly what my parents did for me. The way that my dad was like, you want to be a Disney Channel star? Let's pack up and move to LA.
That's awesome.
I want to do exactly that, because he set me up to allow every dream to come true. So I want to do exactly that. But I think that now that I've got firsthand experience, I would be like, hi, fair warning. This is what you're stepping into, and this is what could happen, But I do think that it taught me a lot as a child. I grew up really fast because I learned so much so fast. So I think it would be great if my child was like, I want to do this. I would certainly encourage them, because that's what I was taught to. So
I want to ask you too here. We appreciate you coming on so much. Was there anything that you wanted to cover that we didn't really bring up today, question wise, about just movies, music, pop culture, entertainment industry? We were going to have you on, and I'm sure you just could barely sleep over the weekend.
Oh my goodness!
This exciting opportunity here. From
once in a lifetime opportunity.
Yeah, we have no props that you get to go with today. We will just our friendship.
Just us.
That's perfect.
What anything you wanted to make sure that you got the chance to talk about, because this is just it really is on par, on trend with our show. So.
Yeah. Just a few things. It's interesting what we see on a screen with an episode of Parks and Rec or an episode of Revenge or Dexter or Victorious on Nickelodeon. All these different things that I had the chance to be a part of. I remember being on set shooting those and seeing firsthand what the scene was like and how the show was going to go, and then watching it months later on TV, and I'm like, they changed that up completely. It's interesting to me how, like, we shot all this stuff months ago, and then they air it, and it's like, that's a totally different storyline. Writers went back to the drawing board, redid a bunch of stuff, and it was interesting to see that. It's really interesting to see what we shot versus what aired, and how the magic of Hollywood, they're able to edit those shows to where it's like, whoa, that's something that's super cool. And then another thing, you can probably attest to this, some of the stars, the big names out there, there truly are the really good ones who are as nice as they seem, and then some who are like, oh,
they break your heart.
Yeah, like I thought
Don't
you were
meet your
gonna
idols.
be, yeah. And all of the idols that I had, I did some things with in Dollywood for when they first opened the theme park there, and I was acting out of Knoxville and Nashville. I did the theme park commercials on like the roller coasters and stuff, and then we did the 25th anniversary of Dollywood, and it was like a concert, a filmed concert to look live, and it was Dolly, Kenny Rogers, Miley, Billy Ray, like all of those people were
Little
incredible.
unknowns.
I mean, yeah.
And just a few names.
Incredible people. I mean, that's where I was like, okay, I've looked up to you guys in music and in TV, like, wow. And then they really were that great. And then I was able to meet Demi and Allison Stoner and Debbie Ryan and all of these like Hollywood stars. And I was like, oh, you could have been nicer.
Yeah.
And like, it's interesting. So
especially as a kid,
Yeah.
We idolize.
But then I think about it and I'm like, okay, they went through what as an adult, they went through the trials and tribulations of acting as a child. So I know it's hard, so like it makes me understand, like, when we hear these things and on the news about Demi and Debbie Ryan and all of Selena Gomez, I'm like, I get it. They went through a hard life. Child acting is hard, guys. I'm giving them some grace if they weren't as nice as possible when I met them. But it's interesting. It's very cool.
You answered that really well. I think that's
try to.
We've answered that with a lot of grace, because it honestly is similar to covering the country music beat for several years in Nashville. I got to meet all my favorite singers, and it's interesting, the ones that you walk away with a wonderful experience, and then the ones that you walk away with a not so wonderful
I was
experience.
about to say, I've heard good stories from you about certain celebrities, which will not be named on the show, that I was like, whoa, really? That person? Okay.
And then you get back and you're thinking, oh, wow. And then that person, you least expect it, and they didn't have to go out of their way. So,
it's actually something that it's like, I feel like taught us as being people in TV, going out into the tri-state, people who watch us every day. Like, we always want to carry yourself with grace and be nice to everyone you meet, because you never know who's idolizing.
And thick-skinned. I think Jamie and I especially, and now welcome to the world of on air with us here.
Not to your degree. Not to your degree.
Especially being a woman. I think, we not only can have an off day on air, but if we're wearing a shirt that a few folks in the tri-state don't like, or didn't like your hair that way, it's tough. It's a tough. I think your background has really, again, helped with that. And just kind of wrapping this up, I think it is. I hope from our perspective, we are proud of everything you've done.
Absolutely.
And selfishly, we get to have you here at home with us. And what I love is you are about to enter a new chapter of your life, that I can attest to this, where having a family and being grounded somewhere in a community, doing something that makes you happy, and kind of slowing down a little bit. I think there can be some comfort in being content.
That's far more important to me than any acting opportunity. Absolutely.
I didn't mean to interrupt you.
You're good.
Yeah, I think it's good to kind of know what you want, and also to never have to wonder because you did the dang thing.
That's true. I'll never have to wonder, can I be an actress? Because we know.
That's
That's a good point. Thank you.
But I will be honest, if Leo ever calls needing you to be in a movie, I need you to go back to
you
LA.
have to.
Go be in that movie.
If somebody's like,
Sure
I saw that
bring
Jamie
us to the
French.
party, the rap party.
Sure will. Absolutely.
Jamie, anything else you wanted to ask first, Aaron?
No, I just wanted to say thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you
It's
guys
been
for
such a
having
joy.
me.
You're our very first guest, and it means a lot to us.
I appreciate you guys giving me the opportunity to talk about it, because I feel like I hid this away for so many years. And now I'm like excited to share. So thank you guys for allowing me to come on.
Of course.
We appreciate that. I am actually taken aback by how I had no idea. And I was like, I would have walked in here day one and been like, guess what?
Guess who I know.
Guess who I am. And truly, you are someone who I think you have, you're an incredible anchor. You're an incredible person if you've never met Jamie in person. And you do have humility and a humbleness about you. And I think that's why viewers welcome you into their home every night.
I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to butter you up because we love you. You can tell we really like Jamie.
We
guys.
do.
Real quick, we have to ask before we head out, since this is What's the Trend?
Yes.
Tell us your favorite movie or your favorite song, or just a few of those that go on, trend with our show. So, okay, we'll give you a second,
Okay. So my favorite movie of all time is The Greatest Showman.
Okay. That's a good.
I was obsessed with it when it came out. I love just the theatrics of it and the music with it. The soundtrack is so good. And I think that's what makes a good movie, is a powerful soundtrack. So it's The Greatest Showman. And then as far as music goes, I'm a country music girl. So I am right up the alley of a Megan Maroney. That is my girl.
She is your girl. I was like, she's
my girl. Yeah.
You do my NSYNC in the newsroom every now and then.
Yes. Big NSYNC fan. Yes. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I have a wide variety of taste. I get into all the Netflix series and things like that you guys are always talking about. And,
of course.
I love to hear all about the different.
She listens.
I do
we have
listen.
A listener.
I do
we
listen.
Love it.
Yeah. So when you guys are talking about Taylor Swift and things like that, of course, grew up listening to her as well. So yeah, I've got a wide variety of taste, but.
Well, there you have it. Jamee French, fantastic interview. I knew we were going to find out the answers to some of our pre-rehearsed questions.
And we got to learn more than what we expected, which I love.
Yeah, and of course, you guys be sure to tune in to our evening newscast here on 14 News, where you'll see Jamee French anchor your news, and maybe even you'll see her face pop up on the Disney Channel app. You just never know what it's going to be. But in the meantime, we know you're a busy gal. Jamee French, thank you for joining us on What's the Trend.
You.
All right, thank you guys.
What an incredible interview guest.
Amazing.
Wow. Again, Jamee, thank you so much for your time. 14 News anchor Jamee French, not only a local news anchor, celeb here in our area.
I love her. She is. That was such a good interview.
Oh, she was incredible. We hope you guys enjoyed that as much as us. Kind of cool because, again, this is an entertainment-based podcast.
And we got to know more about her lore, I guess, if you want to call it that.
Yes.
Her background. I didn't know she had so much stuff that she had done before she came to 14.
And just, again, when you cover this type of show where we're talking about the movie industry, music industry, to have an inside look at that with Jamee today was really special.
We learned a lot.
Yeah. And you know what? We're going to have more guests throughout this show. That's something we're going to try to do more of as we're really getting the ball rolling on this thing. And as always, we just want to say thank you again for whether you're tuning in, watching this, or listening to us, whether it's in your car like your brother Chandler or anywhere across the tri-state. Thank you guys so much. We are happy for every single one of you.
Thank you. Leave us a comment, Facebook, YouTube. You can find us on all of the platforms, Spotify, Amazon, Apple. But yeah, thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you guys next time.
See ya.